Okay, let's unpack this. You know those late nights? Scrolling, maybe a bit too far, and then bam, a thought just hits you. Something totally out there, but also weirdly makes sense. Well, we tumbled down one heck of a rabbit hole recently, sparked by exactly that kind of late night musing, and it's led us here to a really unique deep dive today. We're tackling a question that sounds, well, almost trippy. What if TikTok isn't just another app? What if it's, I don't know, a product of time travelers?
Yeah, it sounds wild, I get it, pure sci-fi. But this deep dive isn't really about, proving alien conspiracies or anything like that. It's more an exploration, looking into how viral stuff works, human psychology, and honestly, how technology just shapes our world in these uncanny ways. The source material we're digging into, it actually comes from that exact late-night conversation, a group just grappling with these big questions. So we'll be sifting through their thoughts, their theories, their aha moments. Our mission really is to look at the surprising bits, the facts and insights that, when you line them up, make this whole time traveler idea seem, well, maybe not completely crazy. It might make you look at your phone a little differently anyway.
Absolutely, because that's where it started, right?
Right.
The source material kicked off with this initial weird thought. TikTok just felt too perfect when it landed. Not
Well,
just good, but
yeah.
like someone had already figured out exactly how human attention works in 2030 and just dropped it on us. Do you remember that back when it first exploded? That feeling of, "Whoa, this is different," but you couldn't quite pin down why. It just hooked you instantly.
That's really the crux of it, isn't it? The anomaly. The claim from that conversation, and it really rings true, is that TikTok basically solved the algorithm on day one. I mean, think about that. It seemed to know exactly what you wanted to see, like right away, which is so different from other platforms. Look at Facebook. As the source points out, it took years to get that creepy good at reading us. Years of tweaking, testing, trying to figure us out. So, yeah, how does a new app in a super crowded market just nail personalization so effectively, so quickly for billions of people?
Hmm.
It suggests, I don't know, some kind of foundational knowledge. Like they skipped the whole learning curve.
Yeah, exactly. And it wasn't just the invisible algorithm working behind the scenes, it was the design choices too. Things you could actually see. They felt revolutionary, almost ahead of their time. Like, okay, vertical video, we all remember, right? Everyone said it was stupid when Snapchat tried it. People were always saying, turn your phone. Horizontal was the norm. Then TikTok shows up, full screen vertical, no apologies, and bam. Suddenly, vertical is the only way anyone wants to watch anything.
Mhm.
It didn't just follow a trend, it set a new standard almost overnight. It's uncanny. Like, they knew something we didn't, like, they knew that was the future of mobile.
That's a really critical point. And if we connect that to the bigger picture, another unique thing was the audio, the viral currency of audio. Think about it. Sounds, little music clips, bits of dialogue, jumping between totally unrelated videos. That's not really how humans naturally create content. Usually audio and video are tied together, film, music, even early YouTube. But TikTok made this detached audio element central. It became its own kind of meme, endlessly remixed. That totally changed how stuff gets made and shared. It created this whole new way of expressing culture. And the platform made it super easy, intuitive right from the start. It wasn't just a feature, it was like a whole new language for interaction, designed for maximum spread.
Okay, and here's where, for me, it gets really interesting. The wider cultural impact. The speed that trends catch fire on TikTok, it's just not natural. It doesn't follow the old rules. The conversation we're drawing from had this perfect example. One day, nobody's heard of sea shanties. The next day, my mom is humming the Wellerman. I mean, seriously. How does an old niche folk music genre suddenly blow up globally like that? It feels accelerate, forced almost, like it bypasses the usual slow burn. Suggests a mechanism built for speed, for making anything go viral, no matter how random it seems.
Right, expanding on that idea. That unnatural speed of cultural transmission. If you connect this to the bigger picture, the timing of TikTok's massive global rise was also, well, perfect. Almost too perfect. It exploded right when everyone was stuck at home during the pandemic lockdowns. Suddenly, this platform built for short, addictive, shareable content that created a weird sense of community. It became essential. It made isolation feel social, as the source put it. Was that just luck, or does it suggest this like prescient awareness of what the world was about to need? Like they knew we'd need it. How could it be so perfectly placed for that exact unforeseen moment? It hints at either incredible foresight or something more deliberate.
So, okay, if we were running with this time traveler theory, one of the people in that original discussion, Jordan, kind of reluctantly asked the big question, what's their end game?
Right.
If someone from the future did engineer this, why? What's the point? And Maya, another voice in the chat, had this theory. Maybe they're not trying to change anything. Maybe they're just documenting.
That documentation idea, it's fascinating. And it connects to a darker thought that also came up. What if we're just lab
What's that?
rats? Our little dances are data points. In that case, the platform isn't just about ads. It's about mapping human psychology, social dynamics, cultural evolution,
Hmm.
real time, global scale, an unfiltered archives of us, our daily lives, our anxieties, our trends. So think about the insights you could get from that. Predicting social shifts,
Hmm.
tracking ideologies, understanding how memes live and die, charting changes in how we even communicate. It wouldn't just be data, it'd be a living lab for understanding humanity. But then why make it so addictive? If it's just documentation, why design it to be so powerful? Wouldn't something more passive work? That's where it gets murky.
That's a really good point. Why the addiction? And speaking of understanding us, maybe too well, let's talk about that uncanny mind reading thing TikTok seems to do. Have you noticed that? How TikTok always seems to know you're about to delete it. Like right when you're hitting peak fatigue, thinking, okay, done, this is too much time, you're hovering over the uninstall button, and suddenly the algorithm gets really good again. Like really good. It serves you something perfect, something that just pulls you right back in. It feels like an intervention.
Oh, yeah. And what's truly fascinating is Maya's observation about that. It's like it's reading your mind, but specifically your future mind. Think about that distinction. It's not just predicting based on your past clicks. Standard AI does that. You like X, so you'll like Y. This feels different. Like it anticipates what you will want, even as your interests are shifting before you even know it yourself sometimes. If we connect that to the bigger picture, it really reinforces this sense of an algorithm working beyond normal machine learning. It's not just reactive, it's proactive, predictive in a spooky way. How could it predict your future mind without some knowledge of where minds are going, or maybe a data set from the future? It feels like more than just stats.
Okay, right. It's weird. Now, buckle up. Because Alex, another person in that conversation, threw out this really provocative alternative. He said, what if the time travelers aren't from our future? Instead, what if they're from a timeline where social media evolved differently and they're trying to steer us toward their version of events?
Mm.
So not documenting our timeline, but actively shaping it, nudging us onto a different track, maybe one that suits them better. That implies a much more, well, manipulative agenda.
And the implications of that kind of steering,
Mm.
they're pretty huge. The source material floats this idea of a future where we become addicted to 15-second videos instead of reading books,
Mm-hmm.
which isn't just about entertainment, is it? It's about how we fundamentally process information. So this raises a critical question. What if the point is actually to change how we process information, to make it so we can't focus on anything for more than a few seconds now? It's like a potential rewiring of our brain.
Yeah.
Making us great at quick hits, but maybe less good at deep, complex thinking.
Mm.
Is that steering malicious?
Mm.
Or is it seen as, I don't know, necessary training for their kind of future?
It's a wild thought, but honestly, look around. It feels kind of plausible sometimes, doesn't it? This idea that TikTok might be training us for a world where everything happens in quick bursts. Or maybe where the only way to handle the sheer volume of information is to think in microdoses. We're learning to skim, to grab meaning fast. And Maya shared this anecdote that really stuck with me. She said, I just got a video of someone explaining quantum physics in 30 seconds, and I actually understood it better than my college professor's lectures. Wow, that says a lot. About efficiency, maybe, but also about a different kind of understanding. Bypassing the long road, I mean, I'll admit, sometimes I struggle to get through a long article now. My brain wants the quick hit.
It truly does say a lot. And what's fascinating, scientifically speaking, is how a platform could subtly, almost without us noticing, rewire our cognitive pathways, training us for a completely different information landscape, making us incredibly skilled at rapid short-burst processing, even for complex stuff like quantum physics, apparently. This shift could have really profound long-term effects on learning, critical thinking, our ability to just focus deeply. It's a training ground, intentional or not, preparing us for a future where attention is maybe the scarcest resource and processing speed is key.
So where does that leave us? You know, us users. The lab rats, maybe. The ones doing the scrolling. Despite all these theories, some wild, some maybe hitting close to home, the core paradox, the source conversation highlights, is still there. We all know something's off about it, but we can't stop. Even the people having this conversation admitted they were still scrolling. It's that shared feeling, right? That magnetic pull, even when part of you feels uneasy.
It really is. And Jordan's comment, sort of resigned. It sums it up. Time travelers. 1, free will. 0, which I think poses a huge question for you, listening right now, as you think about your own habits. Are we actually exercising free will when we use these things? Or, and this is Maya's final chilling thought, Are we, though?
Hmm.
Or do we just think we are? Because that's part of the program.
Is the feeling of choice just another layer of the design?
Oof. Yeah. That's definitely something to chew on long after you finish this deep dive. But hey, let's leave you with one last really out there thought from that late night session. Kind of flips everything. What if we're the time travelers?
Yeah.
What if every app feels normal to us now, but they all came from somewhere else, like from the future? And what if, in some weird loop, our whole relationship with technology is just us slowly remembering a future we already lived?
Hmm.
Think about that. Maybe the familiarity is an evolution. Maybe it's recognition, a memory surfacing. How does your own relationship with tech, with your attention, feel now? Keep pondering that as you navigate your feed.